Well, look, I don't think we can go much further and talk about the news down at Richmond. The three-time Premiership captain Trent Cotchin, he's signalled his intentions, obviously, to hand in the captaincy. He'll go on next year. Is this the best opportunity you are to spruik your case to have the job? I know you pretty well. Is that something you'd like to do?
I wouldn't mind
You'd
doing
love
it.
to do it. I'm sure you would.
I wouldn't. I actually would love to do it, but it's, to be honest, it's
Love to do it properly, wouldn't you?
Early on in my career, it was something that I aspired to do. But then, as you grow older, you evolve into different things, and I've evolved. I feel like I've evolved into a good vice captain and been standing next to Trent. The only way I can sort of see myself being captain is if the club can foresee maybe a younger player taking on that role and not being ready yet. So maybe it's a 1 year or 2 year sort of stopgap to fill in. But I mean, you've only got to look at the names that. I mean, Lynch has been an AFL captain before at the Gold Coast Suns. Dylan Grimes, Shane Edwards is another guy that may step in as that sort of not temporary captain, but just the one to see the next person in to come in, because a lot of people mention Jack Graham's name. He's still 23 years of age, and if you ask Trent now if he was too young to be given the captaincy, I dare suggest that he would say that maybe 23 is too young. So he has turned into a fantastic captain, and as you mentioned, three-time premiership captain. So no, it's going to be a big job, and I'm looking forward to seeing who we can come up with.
Well, you've listed a lot of names, and is that the issue there? Like, I mean, Dustin Martin's been the best player in the game for 5 or 6 years. That's the old-fashioned way, of course, once upon a time, where you'd naturally have the best player. Tom Lynch is there as well. You've got your good self. Is there anyone else that you haven't mentioned behind the scenes that you think has got terrific leadership? So perhaps if they said, look, let's give it 1 or 2 years here, Grace. I know you think you've got 3 or 4 more years of your footy left in you, so I reckon you can turn 1 into 2 at least if you were the skipper. But in all seriousness, there's another one, that younger brigade that can perhaps come in and that I think we wouldn't talk about.
Vlosten's probably one.
Grimes?
Grimes is 30, so he's sort of.
I mean, he's a bit older, of course.
There's probably a few of us in the same boat. So Martin, I think he could do it definitely. Even more so over the last 2 years and how much he's grown. And I think there may be a slight appetite there to do it. Genuine care and has grown as a leader. Grimes is 30 as well. So, I mean, Vlosten's probably the one that fits into the next age bracket. Kane Lambert's a name that probably doesn't get mentioned a lot that could easily step in. He's probably the Chris Newman type of captain where held extremely highly high regard at the football club, but probably not as publicly well known as a leader. So, like you say, there's probably, I mean, well over half a dozen blokes that could put their hand up. So, but
that's 15 I've counted so far that you mentioned all up. So
start naming the whole football department. But no, it's an interesting process to go through, and one that we probably haven't had to do for a while now. So we will find the right person for the job.